What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we'll be looking at how you can actually find the right funding to start your fashion business today. If you've ever watched this channel, you'll know that we've expressed how capital intensive starting any fashion business is, and you'll most likely need a large and significant lump sum depending on your business scale going in, especially if you want any hopes of getting your business off the ground long term. So this can seem daunting for most. You may not know where to find funding, you may not know even where to start. So in today's episode, I'll be covering 6 key ways that you may or may not have thought of to secure funding so that you can get started on your journey today. The idea is that you go into the business with the full confidence that you are adequately financially backed. Hey guys, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Number 1 is going to be your personal finances. And my first tip in this category is going to be do not quit your day job. This is the most practical piece of advice I can give you. Instead, use your day job to leverage, to give you a cash flow, and actually consider starting small, test the market, and try to build up momentum. As your business begins to gain traction, then you can actually consider leaping into your business full time and actually dedicating your full time and attention. This is going to be the most strategic, the most mature, and is going to keep you the most financially stable and less stressed out when it comes to your financial situation. So leverage your business and leverage your day job and try to harmonize them. Also, if you have the luxury and the advantage of having a pool of savings stashed up, I definitely recommend using that as the initial startup cost funding pool. This is going to give you the opportunity to immediately jump into the business, and this is also going to give you the freedom and the flexibility to use your time creatively and effectively. Especially in the early stages of a business, having that flexibility to maneuver, to dedicate the time necessary is also going to be a major add value. Number 2 is an obvious one. You can actually consider approaching a financial institution and do one of 2 key things. First, you can consider what is known as factoring. Factoring usually involves working with a financial institution. Typically in this case, it's a bank, which will provide a cash advance. Once your goods are shipped and invoiced, this is going to allow you to receive a discounted payment on these goods, as well as it's going to allow you to produce more within the same period of time and still avoiding a cash crunch. So it's going to give you more cash on hand for your production items. And secondly, you can consider what is known as a line of credit or an LOC. This works in an almost identical fashion to a credit card, and you can typically set up an LLC with a financial institution. Again, most commonly this is going to be a bank. It works very similarly. Once your bank sets up your LLC, they'll provide a maximum loan amount, and you can pretty much have the flexibility to access the funds in that LLC at any time and then make the payments back within the interest-free period. So that's going to give you access to cash on hand with 0 interest, pretty much. Number 3 is going to be government funding. Governments typically will run certain types of funding schemes specifically intended to enhance or to bolster startup businesses or smaller businesses in their country. But definitely be aware, do your research ahead of time, because some of these government funding schemes will have limitations attached to what industries and how you can actually spend your money. Number 4, consider approaching angel investors. So what is an angel investor? This is typically someone or a wealthy individual or institution that will provide funding to your business in the initial startup phases, typically for equity or a convertible note. Usually this investment will actually decrease once the company is fully up and running. Where can you find angel investors, or what are some types of angel investors? Well, a very common angel investor for a young startup business can be friends and family. Also, it can be linked businesses. These are typically going to be businesses that you're going to be working with in the early stages of your journey. These are people like factories, suppliers, and even retailers. Their success is going to be linked to yours, so this makes it quite a good option to link up with these businesses and acquire some funding. Also, you can consider, if you need a larger investment upfront for a specific reason, going for a private equity firm. This is going to supply you with a larger pool of capital, but may actually end up with more stipulations and restrictions. So do your research ahead of time and make the right decisions for your company. Number 5 is going to be crowdfunding. This has become a more popular option, especially during the last couple of years. What crowdfunding is that it provides a platform for designers to showcase and sell their products to potential customers before production actually happens. This has the major benefit of avoiding any product wastage, because only the people who buy ahead of time are the people that you produce for, whilst still allowing the crowd to fund your project. So you can go in knowing exactly what orders you have and how many you need to fulfill, and will have the cash on hand to deliver the products. Number 6 is going to be competitions. There are plenty of fashion competitions that offer winning brands or students access to funding and press exposure for their brands. Actually, some of the most popular competitions will exclusively select fashion brands that have been operating for a couple of seasons and maybe even stocked in a couple places. This is going to give these designers that have already put in the work and the effort to try to build a brand from scratch the opportunity to find the necessary funding to take them to the next level, and even to find the right press exposure. That is pretty much it, guys. That is a wrap on this episode. Hopefully by now you've seen the 6 key ways that you as a fashion entrepreneur can actually have access to the necessary funding that you need today to get your business up and running. If you guys enjoyed this episode and want to see others like it, let us know in the comments below what other topics you want to see us cover next. Do you want us to go more financial, more design, more business, more logistics? Let us know. We're always open to hearing your instructions and your recommendations, and actually we welcome it. Guys, if you're not subscribed also, please consider doing so. We put out great content on a week-to-week basis, every Wednesday and every Sunday, and haven't missed a beat in over 3 years. So I highly encourage you to join us along for the ride. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.